Hi, Michael Weber here, Artistic Director of Chicago's Porchlight Music Theater, with this edition of Cole Porter in Hollywood. Today, released by 20th Century Fox in 1960, Can-Can, the film version of the hit 1953 Broadway musical, with music and lyrics, of course, by Cole Porter, and a book by Abe Burrows. Now, the film version starred Shirley MacLaine, Maurice Chevalier, Louis Jourdan, Juliette Prowse, and inexplicably Frank Sinatra in the film, playing essentially Frank Sinatra. More on that later. But in the film, there's a wonderful character actor whose voice jumped out at me, and I had to look it up because I'm like, how do I know that voice? His name is Marcel Dalio. You may recognize him from one of the greatest films of all time, and he has a really memorable scene with some memorable lines. I'm not going to tell you the film. You'll figure it out for yourself. Now, the Broadway production originally starred the German chanteuse. Lilo was her name, and it's famous as the show that put Gwen Verdon onto the map, with Gwen kind of outshining Lilo a little bit in that original Broadway production. Shirley MacLaine was aware of this when she was cast, so she asked the producers really to combine the two roles that were originally played by the two women on Broadway into one role. Now, that also left the role of Claudine for Juliette Prowse to be much more truncated, but she still really makes a big impact in this, the first film in which she had a speaking role. It's worth noting also that the role was originally offered to Marilyn Monroe, who turned it down, and so then they turned to Shirley MacLaine, which is really quite wonderful because Shirley MacLaine was a dancer, and it allowed for her to be involved so much more in the dance numbers. The music of Can-Can contains some of Cole Porter's iconic songs. A lot of them are in the film, including It's All Right With Me, C'est Magnifique, which is sung by Frank Sinatra in that Frank Sinatra ring-a-ding-ding way. I Love Paris, which ultimately ended up just being kind of over the credits at the top of the film. It is in the film as sung by Frank Sinatra and Maurice Chevalier. They cut it, but they did leave it on the soundtrack album. So if you have the album, you'll be able to hear that rendition of it. And the title number, like the film The Silk Stockings, they put it into the show, but they removed all of the lyrics. So it ended up being a dance number. It's also one of those films where inexplicably they started shoving in other Cole Porter songs from old Cole Porter shows, including Let's Do It from the musical Paris from 1928, You Do Something to Me from 50 Million Frenchmen from 1929, and also Just One of Those Things from Jubilee from 1935. Now, Frank Sinatra is in the film primarily because it was his production company who put it together. The character that he's playing is really not in the original play, but he is all over the place, kind of gumming up the works in the film. He's Frank Sinatra. If you like Frank Sinatra, he's going to give you what you want. And the combination of he and Shirley MacLaine kind of keep it in the world of that sort of Some Came Running vibe. They had wonderful chemistry, but they were certainly not people that you would find in Paris at this time. They don't make any effort at doing French accents or anything like that, but their star power is certainly there. The whole Broadway show and the movie is based around the Can-Can, this notorious dance, and the complications that come when the law steps in to a club that is performing this dance. There was a lot of backstage drama going on during this film. This is the film that Frank Sinatra and Juliette Prowse got together. They began an affair during the film. It ultimately ended up moving into an engagement, which she ultimately cut off. Notoriously, Nikita Khrushchev visited the set of the film and reported back how outraged he was at the amount of sexual shenanigans that was going on in this American film. He had said, quote, "The thing is immoral. We do not want that sort of thing for the Russians." And then also, the face of mankind is prettier than its backside. It didn't really matter. Americans loved the film, and it was one of those just big showcase, showboat kind of films that were going on in the 1950s with an intermission on top of it. The reviews were mixed. The New York Times, Bosley Crowther, had said Frank Sinatra and Miss McLean look about as logical in Paris of the 18th centuries as they would look on the Russian hockey team. That may be true, but the film is a lot of fun. It's got great Cole Porter music and incredible, incredible dancing. It's worth your time. Give it a look-see. Can.
Love comes in and takes you for a spin. Ooh la la la, c'est magnifique.
When every night your loved one holds you tight. Ooh la la la, c'est magnifique.
It was just one of those nights, just one of those fabulous flights, a trip to the moon on gossamer wings, just one of those things for you. Do something to me that nobody else can do.